Some stories, they just refuse to be neatly explained away. They live in that gray area between what we know for a fact and what we can only, well, imagine. Today, we're diving headfirst into that world. A world where ancient engineering seems to defy physics, modern mysteries leave us with more questions than answers, and where faith and fear collide in the most incredible ways. So, I want you to keep this question in your head as we go through all of this. Where is that boundary for you? Is everything out there just a puzzle waiting for the right scientific key to unlock it? Or are some things truly beyond our understanding? All right, let's kick things off with something solid, something you can literally reach out and touch. Our first stop is a riddle that wasn't just carved in stone, it was carved out of a literal mountain. Get this, 200,000 tons. That's how much solid rock was chipped away to create the Kailasa Temple. I mean, to put that in perspective, you'd need more than 11,000 modern-day dump trucks to move that much weight. And remember, this was done 1,200 years ago with hammers and chisels. It's just mind-boggling. So the question is, how on earth did they do it? Now, of course, you've got your theories about aliens or gods with superpowers, but the real answer, backed by archaeology, is honestly even more incredible. It was sheer human ingenuity. This wasn't just a building they constructed, it was a massive sculpture they revealed, carving a cosmic mountain out of the earth for the god Shiva. And the process they used was pure genius. Let's break it down. First, the architects literally listened to the mountain, tapping the rock to find a huge, solid piece with no cracks. Then they just drew the blueprint right on the surface. But here's the magic trick. They drilled holes, jammed them with dry wooden wedges, and then poured water on them. As the wood swelled up, it cracked the rock with incredible precision. And the craziest part? They carved it from the top down, which meant no scaffolding was ever needed. Just unbelievable foresight. So we've got a brilliant, solid theory for how they built it. But there's one giant, 200,000-ton problem. What about all that rock they carved out? It's just gone. Vanished into thin air. There is no trace of it anywhere. And that right there is where the scientific explanation hits a wall and the real mystery begins. Okay, so from an ancient riddle set in stone, we're going to jump way forward in time to a modern-day enigma, a case where the official story, the logical explanation, it just completely unravels the closer you look. This is the deeply tragic story of Elisa Lam. She was a 21-year-old student on a solo trip that ended in one of the most disturbing mysteries of the internet age. She arrived in LA, checked into the infamous Cecil Hotel, and on January 31st, she was seen for the last time in that bizarre, unsettling elevator security video. 19 days later, her body was found. What makes this so much more personal is that Elisa kept a blog, and her words give us this really poignant window into her thoughts. She wrote about her struggles, her dreams, and reading this quote now, knowing what happened, it's just incredibly haunting. So what's the official story? The coroner's report ruled her death an accidental drowning and listed her diagnosed bipolar disorder as a major factor. The theory is that she was having a manic episode, which could explain her strange behavior and what led to her death. But this is exactly where the official story starts to fall apart. These key questions have just never been answered. For starters, how did she even get onto the roof? It was locked and it was supposed to be alarmed. And then, how did she climb a 10-foot water tank and somehow manage to close the heavy lid from the inside? Not to mention the elevator video. Analysts say it's been tampered with, slowed down, with almost a full minute missing. The simple truth is, the official story just doesn't line up with the facts. Now, let's look at a place where this tension between logic and the unexplainable is an annual event. Take the Kamakya Temple. The belief here is that for 3 days every year, the river nearby runs red because the goddess who resides there is menstruating. Science offers a pretty logical theory. There's a lot of iron oxide in the soil that reacts with the monsoon waters. Okay, makes sense. But why does it happen on the exact same 3 days every single year, like clockwork? That's the part science can't explain. And that incredible story is the perfect entry into our next section, miracles of devotion. We're talking about places where these extraordinary events aren't seen as mysteries to be solved, but as signs of faith, things to be celebrated. And believe me, this happens all across India. You find these temples where the impossible is just part of the daily routine. At the Karnimata temple, there are 25,000 rats that are considered sacred because they're believed to be reincarnated ancestors. Over at the Kal Bhairav temple, the main deity is offered alcohol, which just mysteriously disappears. And at the Tirupati Balaji temple, the main idol itself seems to be alive. It sweats, it has real silky human hair, and it's always warm to the touch. And speaking of Tirupati, the sheer scale of devotion there is just staggering. Every single day, inside a secret kitchen, using a 300-year-old recipe, they prepare 300,000 sweet offerings called ladus. 300,000 every single day. But maybe the most mind-bending thing of all is this. Deep inside the temple, in the inner sanctum, there's a single oil lamp that has apparently been burning for thousands of years. No one knows who lit it or how it keeps burning without ever being refilled. It just does. So from these incredible miracles, we're going to move into our final section, and it takes us right to the very edge of reality itself. We're talking about direct and sometimes terrifying encounters with the supernatural. At the Dattatreya temple in Madhya Pradesh, certain holy days are said to bring chaos. During a specific ritual, people who are believed to be possessed by spirits will reportedly start screaming, climbing pillars, crawling on the ground, all as part of what is essentially a mass exorcism. This belief in spiritual possession and vengeful entities is such a powerful cultural force. You see it not just in rituals, but in modern storytelling too. This quote right here, it's from a really popular Indian TV show called Fear Files, and it just perfectly captures that chilling cultural idea of a spirit that wants revenge. But what's really interesting is that in this story, the spirit isn't just some evil monster. It's the ghost of a murdered woman named Kasum, and she possesses a girl not to be malicious, but to expose her own killers and to protect the child that she left behind. It's a story where the supernatural actually becomes a tool for justice. Which brings us right back to where we started. We've gone from the missing rocks of an ancient temple to the unanswered questions of a modern tragedy, all the way to miracles and spirits born from faith. So after seeing all of this, where do you stand? Are these just really complex puzzles that we're waiting for science to solve, or do they hint at something more? Truths that exist just beyond our grasp? Where you draw that line, well, that's entirely up to you.